Hello, and welcome to this edition of EMS Spotlight, where we speak to EMS executives about their companies and the industry in which they operate. Our guest on this episode is Ashvin Navadia. He's the co-founder and CEO of Vinrox Technologies. Vinrox is one of the EMS facilities I had the pleasure of visiting during my tour of EMS companies in September. They are located in Vadodara, India, which is, I believe, in the Gujarat state, which is in the western part of India. I would tell you my basic comments and why I invited Ashvin on for an interview is, while they're a smaller full service EMS company that was established in 2018, so relatively new by EMS standards, I was very impressed by the spirit and also the capabilities of this company. And Ashvin was a very generous host and spent several hours with me and gave me a facility tour and everything. So let's bring in Ashvin. Ashvin, thank you for taking time to join me today to tell us a little more about your company. Why don't you begin by introducing yourself and giving us an overview of Vinrox?
Yeah, thanks, Eric, for featuring Vinrox on EMS Now. I appreciate your efforts because so far there is no platform or there is no media entity, specifically working on EMS and electronics domain. And you are doing wonderful job because this is
Yeah.
the first kind of, entity talking about EMS and electronics industry.
Hmm.
My name is Ashvin Navadia. I'm the co-founder and CEO of Vinrox Technologies. As you mentioned, we are an EMS company located in Vadodara, Gujarat, western part of India. We can say that we are very young company because if you look at other EMS companies in India and world over, they are more than 15, 20, or even 30, 40 years old companies. But when it comes to Windrox, we are very young. We established in 2018. And if you have seen, right, even our workforce is also very young and dynamic.
Mhm.
And that is helping us in taking things much faster,
Right.
right? Windrox, prior to establishing Windrox, I have a very good experience, industry experience in product design and engineering. I was the engineering director in one of the firm in Vadodara. Those are into telecom and security domain, and that is why it is very easy for us to work on end-to-end services and solutions. So Windrox is not just PCB assembler, but we are into design and engineering, PCBA domain, box build, end of line testing, and complete box build.
Mhm.
So we are managing completely product life cycle of customers, and we are giving one-stop shop kind of experience.
Right. One of the things that I remember, if I remember correctly, Ashvin, is that your background was also in global sourcing. Isn't that right?
Yeah, right. So I used to take care of global sourcing as well in that company, and that is why our vendor network is very much set, tried, and tested, and that
Mhm.
is why we can give very competitive and faster solutions to our customers.
Okay.
For any OEM, the most important thing is quality product in time and at competitive price. So we are meeting all three parameters of any OEM companies,
Okay.
and we are also projecting Windrods not just EMS company but as ODM and OEM partner of any OEM,
Yeah.
because we are very strong in design and engineering as well. We have a very good resources of design and engineering,
Mhm.
and we give complete end-to-end solution. So let's say customer is coming up with some document or product specs or some ideas even. So we engaged in very early stage. We work with them on design part, then DFM, FMEA, value engineering, and complete manufacturing solutions.
Yeah.
So we can give end-to-end services, and customer can get benefited during the design time, where we mostly work on value engineering side as well, because we have very good network of vendors. We can suggest very competitive components to our customers. And I strongly believe that you cannot be competitive by just negotiation, but your design has to be very competitive. So at design level only, you need to set your AVL, you need to set your vendors, those who are very competitive. I
Hmm.
have seen a lot of components where the same quality or apple to apple quality components. Somebody is selling at X price and somebody is selling at Y price, and the difference is huge. I have seen many components where the price is not just 25% or 30% less, but sometimes it is just 25%. Okay,
Mm.
so that is how we work customers to be competitive in the market.
Okay. Good. Hey, describe for us too, if you would, kind of the industry sectors in which you tend to operate. I know you have a pretty varied, customer set, and from a variety of different industries. But where do you see yourself as being strong in which sectors?
Yeah. So our major business is coming from industrial automation and control, industrial IoT, medical, lighting, and power.
Gotcha.
And we are also working on IATF now. So, very soon we are going to pursue, automotive segment as well. And that will be, added to our, current market segment. Right now also, we are working with some OEMs on EV chargers and related products. But, getting or acquiring IATF will boost, that segment too.
Yeah.
And one more thing is we are ISO 9001 company. We are also having ISO 13485. We recently acquired a CDSCO license, which is required to manufacture medical products in India. And recently, we have acquired UL certification as well. So we have got UL file number. Very few EMS companies in India bearing UL certification and UL file number. So, we are one of them, and this is going to definitely make some difference, because we have a lot of customers from USA and they demand UL certification. And already we are shipping UL approved products to USA and China.
Okay. Yeah, and if I recall correctly too, from a volume mix ratio, you tend to be kind of more medium volume, low to medium volume, higher mix type manufacturing, but you're capable of doing kind of the full gamut of all types of manufacturing. Where's your strength really, though?
Yeah, right. So that is an added advantage. If you look at bigger EMS, they generally don't entertain high mix, low volume, or sometimes prototype, because they are always interested in mass production. But at Vinrox, we always claim that we can manufacture from 1 unit to 1 million unit. Okay, and that is where our strength lies. So there are customers where we are doing prototyping, also high mix, low volume. At the same time, we are doing very high volume also. So customer need not to go anywhere when it comes to new product introduction, prototyping, and pilot batch production.
Mhm.
And there are customers, those who are having high mix, low volume, but high value parts. So in that case, also we support a lot. And that is why we say that, Vinrox is in true sense, one-stop shop kind of shop, where all the services are there under one roof or one umbrella.
Right. And as far as your customer base, without naming names of particular OEMs, if I remember correctly, if I think about India, I think about export versus domestic, right? And that balance. And I know a lot had been export, but that's also shifting in India where there's becoming more of a domestic market. How is your customer base? How does that break down?
Right now, you can say it is 50-50. So 50% we are exporting and 50% is our domestic market.
Mhm.
But what is happening because of China plus one policy, and also India government has introduced some approvals for particular products. Let's say a camera, IP camera and related products. Now you need STQC approval if you want to sell camera products in India. So that also going to boost domestic market because that market is huge. And
Mhm.
Vinrox is also actively working with ODM and OEM partner for this kind of segments where we see lot of traction and lot of high volume down the line. So I feel that over a period, we will have more domestic market than the export market. Anyway, both the markets are growing very well, but our domestic market growth will definitely take over.
Okay, excellent. I want to remind people too, or tell people too, that if you're interested in learning more about Vinrox, there is a profile on the EMS Now site in our EMS directory with some basic overview of Vinrox, their capabilities and all, and also gives Ashvin's email address on there. So if you want to reach out, you're
Thank you.
certainly able to. Um,
Thank you.
let's kind of ask a few, but before I move from that though, let me just ask this. What is it that you think is your kind of unique differentiator? What really do you think that Vinrox as an EMS company does best?
There are few points like, as I said, okay, we get engaged with customer in the beginning. So we participate in a DFM, FMEA, value engineering, and prototyping, right? So, and the other thing is we are very strong in design and engineering. So we really give very good, valuable inputs to our customer during the design phase. Uh, as you mentioned, I was in global sourcing, so we have very strong vendor base where we can give very competitive components details to the customer, and we help them to make their product very competitive. So
Mhm.
for any company to make a product successful, you have to have right price point, and we are helping customers in getting that right price point. Definitely, we are a smaller company and we provide dedicated design forces and program managers to our each and every customer so that we cut down their time to market cycle as well. So for any product, you need quality product in time at competitive price, and definitely we are helping our all customers in achieving those parameters, and that is differentiating Windrox from the other EMS companies. And I already mentioned that we are working in entire spectrum. As I said, like we always claim that. Windrock serves from 1 unit to 1 million units. So customer need not to go anywhere. And we are also very focused. So customer can get very focused customer experience. And there is a flexibility because we are highly flexible. So sometimes, bigger companies, they are, rigid in certain areas where their policies are like that, but
Mhm.
here we are highly flexible and we adapt customers requirement and their personality, and that is helping customer also and making customers comfortable. So that is the main thing, and when customers are comfortable and they are getting what they want, then definitely they will appreciate our efforts, and they will see value in Windrox.
Yes. And I have to say, I saw what a dozen EMS companies during my tour of India, and honestly say each was very different and unique in its own way. But I wanted to ask you yours was a kind of a smaller, medium size. And I want to ask you about the importance of the culture that you have there, because I see you as a very young, dynamic company there, right? With a lot of energy. You've talked about that. And I noticed that when you describe yourself as electronic design and contract manufacturing services, right? So it's really leveraging those good design capabilities. But speak to kind of the culture of Vinrox that you try to foster.
Yeah, so actually, I always say that, Vinrox is driven by the culture. And, we have set culture in such a way that when any new employee or new person joins Vinrox, by culture only he is trained, like, how, we are behaving, how, we are responding to customers, and how our processes are set, how our standards are set. And our culture is only defining our capability and our success. So we are a highly cultured company, very young and dynamic force. And we are also running a lot of training sessions where our new employees and current employees are getting trained on technology part. At the same time, we are also training them on soft skills. So they should know that, how to behave, with customer, how to respond to customers, and also, how to, create, harmony between teams, and how to deal, problems or any, issues within the team. So, we are always trying to boost team spirit.
Hmm.
And I can say that, our team is really good and very much trained and, working with harmony
Yeah.
and
Excellent.
integrity, I would say.
Yeah. Excellent. So tell me too, before we move on to some kind of larger issues about the industry there, how is the competitive landscape for you for Venrox in dealing, with all the other EMS companies that do exist within India? How competitive is that landscape?
Yeah, we are definitely competitive, and that is an added advantage to any customers, because we are located in tier two or three city, you can say. So
Hmm.
our, operating margin is less. Our expenses are less. At the same time, we are getting, skilled, manpower at lower price. We have set our processes in such a way that we are getting more efficiency. Okay, so we are keeping our costs down by, keeping more efficiency, or being more efficient. Our operations are more efficient, and our, operating cost is also lower.
Hmm.
And we are also working with customer constantly in achieving cost reduction down the line, because cost reduction is a continuous process. So through value engineering, we are also suggesting, different processes, different vendors, different part, without compromising quality, and that is helping customer to keeping their cost lower. And we have seen that, the tier one companies or tier two companies in bigger cities like Pune and Bangalore, their operating margins are very high, and their, operational cost is also very high. So if you really compare, we are definitely competitive over any big OEMs in EMS in
Hmm.
India.
Okay, excellent. When I think about the EMS industry, I think of all the different trends and kind of pressures that exist, as they do in every business, but the EMS can be somewhat unique. So what are the industry trends that most impact your
Uh, I think, in the industry, they are constantly looking for lower cost,
business?
right? So, getting lower cost is a challenge, because certain things you cannot compromise, and that is driven by the end customer. So customer is also under constant pressure where they want to achieve cost reduction down the line.
Mhm.
So that is always challenging, but as I said, we are very strong in value engineering, and that is where we are helping customers to achieve lower cost down the line.
Yeah. You had mentioned before too the China plus one strategy. Do you see that benefiting your particular business? You know, the whole reshoring, well, people call it reshoring, but in this case it's transferring manufacturing from China to India.
Yeah. We have few customers, those were manufacturing in China, and it's the same product we are manufacturing at Vinrox at lower cost than China. If you look
Mm,
at China, they are no more competitive because if you look at their labor cost or manpower cost, that is almost 4 to 5 times higher than India.
mm,
So definitely, we are seeing that a lot of American and European customers, they want to move their production base from China to India.
mhm,
Not just strategic decision for them, but they are also achieving lower cost.
mhm.
So, that is the motivation for them because they are getting, lower cost as well. So in recent time also, we are discussing with many, customers across USA and Europe. Those are very much interested and really wanting to move their production base from China to India.
Yeah,
And down the line, we will be catering those kind of customers, and will be having more and more such customers. So the China plus one policy is definitely working, and that is driving customers to move their production base from China to India, and also to some other countries where
yeah,
they can keep their costs lower, and there are strategic locations.
yeah. Yeah, I think you're right. I think that the as we move forward with EMS, the primary factor will remain cost, right? I mean, because with automation and AI, everything being what it is, everything's becoming very similar, right? And supply chain expertise, as you're talking about, is critical, and that's where you manage costs. And that's, I think, very good insight. Listen, I wanted to ask you about your vision for Vinrox as well, because you impressed me when I was there, which is why I wanted to speak with you about as a young dynamic company. I love the story, the backstory. I like the capabilities that I saw there. So, what is your vision for the company and how do you view its future?
Right. So we want to be a premier EMS, or you can say ODM OEM partner company in the India, and we want to expand our footprint globally. We have a plan to set up one unit in Bangalore, one unit in California, or other part of USA. Also, we want to establish one unit in Europe to cater the European market.
Mhm.
And over a period, we have a vision to set GCC, Global Capability Center, where we can give readily available IPs and products to our customers. That is why we say that, we want to be ODM and OEM partner where customer can get product readily and they can do white label quickly and easily. Right now, the problem is, okay, if you go to China, there are a lot of product companies offering product off the shelf. So customer did not to spend over design, and that is cutting their development cycle also because that is quick to market. The same thing we want to create at Vinrox, where we are, offering customers readily available product design and IPs, where they just come and they select the design or IP, and we just start manufacturing. So there is no design cost, there is no design time. So that is how they can be competitive by time to market, and
Mhm.
design cost they can avoid. and quickly they can enter into the market. So that is the next thing, and that is the vision where Vinrox can enable customer to find readily available products and IPs, where they can just walk in, select, and start manufacturing.
Instrument management. That's excellent. That is excellent. I like to hear your vision there. It's well thought out. Um, of course, you're operating currently in probably the hottest EMS market on the planet, right? India is the big story in the industry. It is where there's so much energy and it's moving very, very fast over there. So what's your opinion on the market potential for India as for EMS?
Uh, if you look at India EMS market, I believe globally it is growing at 7 to 10% CAGR. But if you look at India, it is more than 20-25% because everybody is busy and everybody is expanding. That means market is exploding and growing like anything,
Hmm.
and that is why we have a lot of expansion plan, and we have a vision to make Windrox $200 million company by 2030,
Yeah.
because we see that much traction, and definitely market is there and growth is there and it is exploding, and we want to tap that opportunity, and our expansion plan is in tune with that market is growing.
Yeah. So tell me, what do you think then India still needs in order to really fuel that growth? What does the industry still need to be truly world class?
We are almost there, but the thing is, our supply chain. We need to focus and component manufacturing. Still, we are dependent on China for most of the components,
Hmm.
whether it is semiconductor or passive components like connectors, cables, displays, and other electromechanical components. So that is very challenging. So down the line, I hope that if India's supply chain or ecosystem for the components grows, and more and more EMS and other companies are focusing on component manufacturing, that will definitely help. Sorry, government is also helping. So if you look at recent anti-dumping duty on PCB, that forced, or a lot of company have envisioned that they can do manufacturing in India. So a lot of EMS companies and other companies have started putting PCB fabrication plant in India. So
Hmm.
likewise, for component, government is also very keen, where they are promoting and encouraging Indian manufacturers to manufacture components. That is why a lot of incentives and PLI scheme rolled out by the government to boost component manufacturing in India and to build a very strong ecosystem. We are facing little issues now, but I'm very much confident that down the line, in very few years, you will see a lot of component manufacturing in India, and that will strengthen
Hmm.
EMS companies for sure, and that will also again drive to make EMS companies more competitive, because if components manufacturing happens in India, and a very strong ecosystem is built in India, that will make all the manufacturers very competitive.
No, absolutely. And I was very impressed with what I heard while I was there about exactly what you're talking about, the whole Make in India initiatives and all the programs and schemes that the government has in place to help encourage the development, further development and growth there. So I think that's all very, very positive for the future for India. Um, Ashvin, we covered a lot of ground. Before I let you go, let me just ask in real, is there anything that I haven't asked you about that you think is important to share with the audience?
Right. So I think, we are very much bullish on expansion and all. Vinrox is coming up with an IPO also. And we want to hit the market by middle of 2027. And uh, most of companies are selecting, SME platform for IPO, but Vinrox is going to select mainboard platform to hit the market. And definitely, we are going to grow, and you will see huge, value brought on table by Vinrox to their customers and down the line investors.
Excellent. Well, that's a good update. I appreciate that. Well, listen, I want to thank you for your time today, for sharing your thoughts and insights into both your company and what's happening in India. I think that you have an exciting future. I was very, very impressed when I met you and toured your company, and which again is led to this interview. And I hope that as you move forward, continue to grow, you don't forget about us and you come back and let us speak again in the future to cover some of the developments.
Yeah, sure. We would love to speak to you again and again. And as I mentioned in the beginning, that this is the first kind of media platform where you are specifically targeting EMS and electronics industry,
Mhm.
and this is the need of an hour, and there was a gap, but you are trying to fill that gap, and we really appreciate your efforts. And because you are physically traveling and meeting the entrepreneurs and companies you are visiting, and you are definitely giving insight to the
Mhm.
viewers, so that is remarkable and appreciable.
Very good. Well, Ashwin, thank you for those kind words, and I want to thank you for coming on. And I wish you a successful end to the year and a successful 2026. And hopefully, we speak again next year.
Thank you very much.
Thank you very much.